I don't have a lot of memories from when I was a kid. Obviously, important events, they're there, but between neurodivergency and trauma, there is not a lot going on up there from my past. The most extreme examples, very present, but a lot of the mundanities have been swept away. When I was 7, one day in particular sticks out to me. I remember sitting up in my room with my older brother. He didn't want me going downstairs, so we were just sitting in my room. Now I could hear the shouting downstairs, but I didn't really understand the implications of it at the time. The screaming, shouting, it died down after a while, and I went down to check. I remember getting up from my bed, I remember going down the stairs, I remember walking to the kitchen, and then nothing. I couldn't exactly told you what I saw next. Now, it's not like I don't know what happened. I've been told what happened next from everybody else's perspective. But from the point that I enter the kitchen, the memory goes from first person to third person. I couldn't tell you what I saw. It's one of the last memories that I have of my parents together before they got divorced later that year. You never know when you're gonna do something for the last time. Obviously, when you're in the moment, when you're going through with it, you know. You've planned for it. How far in advance can you know it's going to be the last time? I speak on this because this is the first video I'm recording for my new apartment. Earlier this weekend, I signed a lease agreement, made a security deposit, and I've spent the past few days moving in, taking a menagerie of my childhood possessions and furniture up a few flights of stairs. It felt very surreal, and the last thing that I expected was to cry as hard as I did. It was a long time coming. Earlier this year, I'd told my coworkers that my New Year's resolution was to get my own place. Now, that wasn't really what it is, but, given what was going on at the time, felt like an appropriate answer to give. It's not how I thought this year was going to go, but it's what ended up happening. See, I've been making content for a long time, but it's always been inconsistent. The falling out between my parents that led to their divorce when I was 7 directly led to it. Obviously, I work off a computer now, but given the schedule we were operating on, it made it very impractical. I don't know how most families going through a divorce split up their custody, but I know how my brother and I were subjected to the system. We'd functionally spend 2 days with our mom, 2 days with our dad, 5 days with our mom, 5 days with our dad. A 50-50 split where we end up switching houses twice a week. At the time, I was going into 3rd grade. My brother was just starting kindergarten. He's in college now. I feel bad that growing up as a kid, from the moment he was in public school, this is all he's really known, knowing that I at least got a couple of years to pretend everything was normal. And the worst part of it is, we didn't really get a choice on where to stay. Even as we both became legal adults, we were subjected to that custody system. Staying in one place just wasn't an option. And my dad's, his fiance, very strict about that system. Cared a lot about her privacy, kind of enacting that control on us. I'll never forget the night that I found that my various devices had been blocked off from the internet. That Xfinity pause feature. I have come to dread that screen on any device I own, and it was done without warning. Without discussion. I stayed up until they woke up in the morning to erase it for myself and for my younger brother, as I saw he'd been subjected to it as well. Because of her, we were forced to abide by that antiquated system that was written when I was 7 years old. Even then, it was still pretty far from work. My mom's was a lot closer to it, so made the commute a nightmare. Well, then why don't you just stay with your mom? Start off with the simpler points. I didn't have my computer there. A lot harder to stream, record when you're working off of a laptop that's a lot older. And even when I was able to record or stream, I wasn't afforded the luxury of privacy. The most advanced warning you were going to get of somebody coming in was the knock that they made as they turned the handle. That is, if they weren't screaming my real, actual name from across the house because I didn't hear them when they spoke it at a normal volume from the other side of the house through a closed door, headphones, and probably a box fan. On top of that, things were incredibly rough there. See, both my mom and her boyfriend have certain struggles.
What, are you challenging him? Will you
Absolutely. I want to know why he
What do you
doesn't
mean,
love you.
back up
I
what I
want to
said?
know why when your mother says, "How was your day?"
Stop it.
You don't say this
That always
and
made
that, and then,
things
"How was your day?"
pretty rough.
Well, how
Some
was
nights it
your
would be
day?
a lot worse than others. But the lack of privacy made it a lot harder to just hide away in my room unless I wanted to barricade it. Even with that, as certain problems at home got worse, it became very clear that my mom was becoming a lot more financially dependent on me. My mom charged me rent for the 2 weeks of the month I was there. It started off very simple. $100 for rent and 70 for the phone bill. I wasn't happy about this being imposed on me, but I knew that my mom wasn't exactly doing the best financially, so I pitched in. Then my mom raised it to 200. Why? Just because it stuck at 200 for a while, but it became her go-to threat. Anytime I did something that annoyed or otherwise mildly inconvenienced her, she'd threaten to raise the rent. Anything from her getting so toasted she'd forgotten how she instructed me to do her laundry, and when I do it as she asked, she gets pissed off and threatens to triple it. Or Super Bowl Sunday, where I didn't double the ice surrounding my car before I left to go to a party, so I came back to this note taped directly to my door. Of course, I didn't pay that. I simply spent the rest of the month either sleeping at my dad's, or when I was unable to, due to her, I just crashed on my grandmother's couch instead. Now, when she chewed out my dad for allowing us to stay, allowing me to stay, I got sent back to my mom's house. Wouldn't you know it, notice was gone. Nobody ever spoke of it. It's as if it never happened. But she was so confident in raising my rent because, to put it in her own words, I was making more money now. And she decided that she wanted a bigger cut just because the money was there. She thought she was entitled to it. Ever since that note was posted, I was looking into getting a place, and after my mom got a notice that the landlord wanted to sell that house and get us out, it was pretty easy to disconnect myself. But it felt weird walking through that house, knowing how many bad memories there were good ones too. Before I cleaned out my depression nest of a room there, the bonus room between the garage and the kitchen was my streaming space. It was my recording space. It's where I went to make content on that shitty laptop. It was better than sitting on my bed with the box that the laptop came with as a desk. There were a lot of bad memories, but a lot of good ones too. That night that I spoke of, or that first Wi-Fi pause happened, that was the night my cat December died. I still remember getting the call at 1:30 in the morning. Now, if it had been active before, I would have already seen the notice. But of course, my mother frantically calling my brother and I to let us know my cat had collapsed and was no longer breathing. We made a bit of a commotion. I wanted to wait until the morning, but my brother was insistent on going immediately. After all, it was 1:30 in the morning, and I was worried about us not being awake enough to safely drive. But he was insistent on going, so I joined him. December was a damn good cat. I've said that for the longest time. Ever since she passed away, almost 2 years ago now, she's been in my Discord bio. She was an amazing cat, and I still do miss her so dearly. Of course, when I wanted to call with friends, so I'd have the comfort, that's when I saw that fucking pause symbol. That's how you start to build up resentment in a person. It stopped for a while, but eventually, a couple months ago, it was re-implemented. Once again, without any discussion. A few weeks later, it was added to my phone too, all without a word ever being spoken to me. By her. My dad, of course, defended her, but I couldn't see a good reason. And I tried so hard to be accommodating, tried so hard to be quiet. I hadn't gotten any complaints about the noise I was making. She decided to do it anyway. Was picking up some of my things from Mom's earlier today. Who would it be but my other cat, Ruby, just napping on the couch. Thankfully, to my knowledge, my mom has found her own place to stay, but I can't help but think about Ruby. Even with my mom finding a new place, given the other drunkard in that house, I can't guarantee they won't still be together, making each other worse. From what I know, my mom has found a place where Ruby is allowed, but this must be so scary for her. When we were moving here, it was one thing. Even through how scary of an experience it was, she still had December to keep her company. But now not only is she going to a new place without her, she's going to a new place without me too. I can't take her with me. Given how often I'm working and knowing that I have a space only to myself, I don't think I could keep adequate care of her. I don't have enough going for me where a cat is something that I feel I can reasonably take care of. And I wouldn't want to do that to her. But I can only imagine what it's going to feel like for her when she does move with Mom. Being in a new, scary place without really understanding why. And knowing that two members of the family who love her dearly aren't around anymore to help her through it. My mom loves Ruby, but can't help but think about how Ruby is just as much a victim in this as what my brother and I have had to go through. Different kinds of traumas in different ways, but I can't imagine how stressful this is all going to be for her. Every time I think I'm done crying, it comes back. Okay, I made sure to say goodbye to her, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last time that I speak with her. I still have things in my mom's house to grab, things to pull over, things to unpack. My mom said that reasonably our last day in that home is anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks from now, and I don't know when I'm gonna get to go there for the last time, when I'm gonna get to pet my cat for the last time, because as much as I care about my family, I don't want to keep putting myself in that toxic environment if I can avoid it. And there is only one way to separate myself from that. It's been a lot the last couple days. A lot of sobbing. A lot of physical strain. My apartment's on the 3rd floor. It's a lot of moving. My arms and legs are very sore. But, you know, it's not all bad. I do get to have my own space. I have the support of my family, my grandmothers. I have the support of my friends who... One of the great benefits of most of your friends being online is pretty easy to just send a text and be on a call. And, you know, there's other benefits too. There's a lot of nights where I'd go home, I'd want to get myself some food, or I'd want to buy some ingredients to cook something. Lo and behold, feels like the entire week's set of meals has been planned out, the entire months even. And then nights where I just assume that's going to be the case and nothing's been made, there's no leftovers, so I just have to make do with what's there, knowing I've just had to do a shitload of driving and don't want to go out to get any other food. I know the guarantee of coming home to food now is 0, but it just means that I'm able to actually prepare ahead. And I've got other stuff going on too that's going to be really fun. I'm going to be participating in an emo karaoke night, and hell, starting this Friday, which, depending on how long it takes for me to edit this and when the thumbnail is done, could have already passed. I'm going to be starting in a tabletop role-playing game with a few of my fellow creators, which I would like to say shout out to Flickr, my friend Flickr Celophobia, who not only drew the thumbnail for this video, which Flickr, I know you're watching this, hello, charge more money. I appreciate you, I respect you. You don't charge enough. I've got really good friends, and I'm glad I have people to support me in all of this. It's very strange walking into what you have known as your bedroom for the better part of the last few years. Seeing it basically completely empty. It feels like it should be a lot more sudden of a shift, but you know, it's not like completing a level, it's not like closing a game. It just, one day something's true, next something else is. And at some point, things are just different. I don't know when the last time is that I will step foot into that old room at either place that at times I called home. I'm just happy I was able to make good memories with the time that I had. That even though there will come a day where I am no longer able to do that, I made the best of all the times that I could. And I hope that if you're watching this and you too are dreading that one day there's just something you won't be able to do anymore, that it doesn't stop you from trying to do it just one more time and then making something of yourself. Take care. Bye-bye.